wrote. You said, I think it's hypocritical for a man or woman that has a high body count to want someone who is a virgin or low body count, especially, this is the qualifier, especially if they demand sex early in the relationship and if they are judging people who do have high body counts. But I mean, even if we remove the qualifier, you still think it's hypocritical, even if the man is not demanding sex early in the relationship, or if they're judging.
It's just with the qualifier.
Okay, like, so fine, we'll include the qualifier, especially if they demand sex early in the relationship. Well, even though low...
I don't think it's hypocritical. I don't think it's hypocritical at all. That's like dating a girl and she demands you to take her on these dates for the events that she can't pay for, but she demanding you to do it to be with her, like to see her and shit. She demanding you to buy her bags. She demanding you to take you. She demanding you to take her to expensive restaurants, take her out, to give her a good life, right? That's what she demanding, but she can't give it back. So, even though she demanding it super early in a relationship, you're not shit. Y'all don't even date. Y'all don't. My bad. Oops, hold on. Ah, fuck. There you go. Yeah, okay. You don't even date shit, and she demanding that shit.
Body count woman could have sex early in a relationship, right?
She could, yeah.
Okay. Now, when you say judging people, so for example, like he's judging her insofar as he would not date her because of her body count?
I think it kind of, what I was getting...
Yeah. It also, this shit good. It also depends what kind of judging you're talking about. Judging, like, trying to shame her, then not, yeah, you're a hypocrite. But if you're saying judging, like, oh, yeah, I just don't want to date you. Oh, then you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Getting with that is going back to that relationship I had where he judged me for my body count and he was a virgin. But okay. I don't know.
Well, it's a little different, but
I know it's different.
So I'll just open up to the panel. Do you think that if a guy has a really high body count, let's say he has a body count of 100 and he wants a girl with like sub 5, sub 10 body count, or even a virgin, do you think that that's hypocritical? And if you want, just show of hands, is it hypocritical? Hypocritical?
If he's judging her for it.
Okay,
well,
he's judging her for it.
I know, but judging...
This is what I'm trying to say. If he's judging women with higher body counts, but he has a high body count himself, I think that is hypocritical. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's hypocritical.
I see where they're coming from. I fully see where the girls are coming from. In a way, yes. Yes, it's hypocritical. Technically, yes, it's hypocritical. You can't judge somebody if you do the same thing. But with the dating world, it's different. The reason why it can be harsher on the women because y'all have the key to sex. Like, you have the key to sex. It's like a door, right? And you're the only one with this key to this specific door. And you let 90% of people who comes down to that door, you let in. Nobody's gonna think that room is special. Like, they're just not going to do it because you hold that key. But if you're in a building, right? And don't forget, let's say we're in a building, right? We're in a building, 100 floors, 100 rooms, right? And you have one key to that only room, and 90% of that, 1,000 men enter that building. And out of that 1,000 men, you let 90% of them men enter that room. And the only way they can enter that room if you give them the key. That's the only way the men can enter that room. You give 90% of the men that enter that building the key to that room. It's not a special room no more. It's not. But if one man out of them 1,000 men get every single key, I'll get all the 100 key, every single key on every single floor, 100 rooms, 100 floors. He get every key. People gonna be like, damn, that nigga a dog. Like, good shit, that nigga, because it's hard. It's not easy. We have the access to keys. You don't have to give us the keys. You can just say no, and we have to keep pushing. Yeah, that's the difference. That's really the difference in shit.
regardless, but him judging her makes it wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
okay,
if he-
so
if
what
he's
would the
just-
judgment be? So
Like
the
it-
judgment is, I have a high
Like
body
holding it
count.
over?
She has a high body count. I know that women with high body count, with high body counts, are not the type of woman I'd want to date because they're promiscuous.
It's the sticky note.
Well,
Is that the judgment, or is
Like-
the judgment like she's a fucking whore, she's a fucking skank, blah blah? Is that what you're talking about?
Probably.
pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so but
Okay, then yeah. She's right. She's right. Yeah. If he does that, no, don't. Ladies, don't be with a guy like that. Like don't ever be with a guy who try to like, but you're a fucking skank, you're a whore. No, don't do that.
is it still hypocritical absent that sort of judgment? If the judgment is just, I believe in my heart of hearts that women who have a promiscuous past or who are currently promiscuous do not make for good partners, is that a judgment?
No.
if
I think it's a judgment, but
It's a
I
judgment,
mean,
but
if
it's
your
not
if your
wrong.
I don't
body
think it's
count
wrong.
is
It's not
high as
mean.
well,
It's not
is
mean.
what
Or
I'm
I don't
saying.
think it's wrong.
okay.
It's just your personal preference.
Okay, well, I don't want to linger too long on this, but I'll just say that
Can I ask you again, just to repeat real quick? Where's the actual hypocrisy?
Because you're judging someone with the same number of body count that you have,
Yeah, why would that be hypocritical?
because you're making them feel like they're less than you because
what if
you
you
guys
don't,
share
you
the
don't need
same.
to tell them your judgment if you don't
Yeah,
tell
so-
them the
Well, if
judgment.
you
Let me give
don't-
you an example of this. I smoke cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
If my daughter comes to me and says she wants to smoke cigarettes, and I tell her she shouldn't, am I a hypocrite?
Yes. In my opinion, yeah, you are. Even in reality, logically, you are. Now, you're a hypocrite, but you not to smoke cigarettes is a good idea. Like that's a good idea. Like yeah, don't smoke cigarettes. But you're a hypocrite because you're telling somebody not to do something and you're doing it. That's called being a hypocrite. Literally.
No,
No.
'Cause you
So can I
want-
have?
you want
So
what's
even
healthy
if if
for
I
her.
engage in an act.
Even if you want what's best for them, you're still being a fucking hypocrite because you're doing it. But lead by example. You can't tell 1,000 men to go die. Oh, hey, let's go die. You're sitting at home on a throne. Not a throne. You're sitting at home and you're the general and you're telling your men to go. You supposed to lead your men to battle, but you're telling them to go first. Like, oh no, y'all go. Oh yeah, win. No, bro, you're a hypocrite, dog. Like, bro, like you tell somebody not to do something, you're doing it, or you tell somebody to go do something, you can't do it. Hypocrite.
Activity and then have a preference against that same activity from somebody else, how exactly would that even make me a hypocrite? So let's say, for instance, I banged 800 chicks and you banged 800 dudes. Let's just say in this hypothetical that was the case, but I prefer to date women who haven't banged 800 dudes. How would that actually make you a hypocrite?
In that situation, you're not a hypocrite. And that one, no. Because they're not saying you can't do it or you should do it. It's just saying I don't want it. So no, that's not really a hypocrite.
the judgment, like the outright judgment, is what makes the person the hypocrite.
Why would that be
You can have a
hypocritical?
preference. and
What if
you
it's
don't want-
if you think that it's worse for women than men? Let's say, if you think it's worse reputationally for women, you think it does more damage to them than it does men, right?
Well,
If you
yeah.
don't think that men and women are interchangeable widgets, then why is it that it would be hypocritical to say, well, this does less damage to me than it does for you, so my preference is against that? I'm not actually sure that that's hypocrisy.
That makes sense.
Or maybe it's not then. I don't know. That's
makes
just the whole, and just keep going back to the judgment part, the outright judgment. You can have a preference.
Okay, if you were a serial killer and you judged other serial killers as bad, you said that what you're doing over there is bad, right? Even though I'm doing the same exact thing that you're doing, aren't you just making an argument from hypocrisy? You're just saying, but what about you though? He could still be right that what you're doing is bad, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know, even if it was, let's say, hypocritical in this case, why would that even be a problem?
It's, like I keep saying, it's the judgment
Do
part.
hypocrites give you the ick?
No, it's
No?
the judgment part.
Yeah, but what's wrong with the judgment part?
It's the belittling part of it. Like,
Yeah, what's wrong with
there's a
that part of
difference
it?
between having a preference and figuring out, okay, someone has a,
Hey, appreciate her holding black baby. I appreciate that. But I appreciate that, bro. You know what's the real shit, bro? I don't know your name, and you probably would never see this video ever. But if you do, if you ever see this video, bro, I appreciate you holding black baby, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
higher body count than me, okay, I don't want to be with them. Okay, that's fine. But if
I know it's not a real baby, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
you're outright going like, oh, you're a fucking whore, then yeah, like, that's hypocrite. That's wrong. Especially if you have a high body count yourself.
Okay, so I'm not sure how you can say that being a hypocrite's even wrong. What's the standard for saying that a hypocrite is wrong other than you just don't like it?
I guess I just don't like it.
Right, you just don't like it. So hypocrites give you the ick.
Hypocrites.
Let me ask you this, too. Is basically everything that you think is bad or immoral or that you don't like just shit that gives you the ick? Is it just stuff you find icky?
No.
No?
I'll say one thing on this, I guess, question. So, in order for you to want to be with someone, need you possess all the traits that they too possess?
I mean, you don't have to.
Right.
No. No. You don't have to possess all the traits, but you should possess a good amount. You should possess at least like 85. Not about 80. 80% what they got. At least 80.
But so,
Sorry, you don't have to, not to interrupt you, but didn't we kind of already get into this back at the whole like tradition standpoint when we were talking about
well,
tradition?
a little bit, but it is somewhat different here. But so,
bit different.
in order for you to desire a trait in a partner, need you also have the trait?
No.
No.
Right.
But body count
So,
is different
How
than
is
trait.
it? Well, okay.
So does body
well,
count matter?
It is. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
So, for example, I think men and women want different things. Men and women prioritize different things. They prioritize different traits. Would you then object or find it hypocritical for a woman who's broke to find a billionaire attractive?
I mean, I guess you could say that since she's not.
But is it
Rich
wrong
herself.
for a woman who's dead broke to find rich men attractive, or want to date a man who's rich? Is it hypocritical?
I mean, it could be since she doesn't possess the same financial situation.
Okay. A woman may find a famous professional athlete, actor, musician attractive, but they may not be a pro athlete, actor, musician themselves. Is she hypocritical for finding men with status, athletes, actors, musicians? Is it hypocritical for her to desire to be with such a man?
I don't know.
Okay, what about funny? A lot of women, funny is at the top of the list for a lot of women. It's not clear to me if they're funny themselves. So, I'm not saying, what I'm saying is this woman in particular. I'm saying the woman in particular. I'm not saying women aren't funny.
Oh, I'm
That's what
funny.
Andrew says.
I make myself laugh.
But so, is it hypocritical for a woman who's not funny herself to find men who are funny attractive?
No, but that's like a trait. Body count is like
That's a
something
trait.
physical. It's a physical.
Okay. So is it hypocritical then for short women to find tall men attractive?
I think it's just your preference.
your type, what you like about
That's
that
right. And men
person.
got a preference for women with a low
Yeah.
body count,
Yeah.
even if they're man-hoes themselves.
Yep, there you go.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah,
If you-
because they won't.
I'm
They're more
just-
likely to not
It
take a
doesn't
woman
mean that a
seriously if she
preference
opens
can't
up the
be
same day.
Critical though.
Yeah.
Now let me ask this kind of last segue here. So from your perspective, if the hypocritical part is that if a man slept with 500 women, you slept with 500 men, and he's judging you for that, you think that that is hypocritical, is the judgmental part, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but what if he says it's fine for you to judge me by the same standard I'm judging you? That's no longer hypocritical, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that is true, and they're willing to be judged by the same standard that they're judging you, but society happens to judge them for it in a totally different way, and you just don't like how they're being judged differently than you, how would that actually make them a hypocrite?
Wait, repeat that again.
Yeah, please.
So here, let's give an example. Guy goes up to a room and he bangs 5 chicks in one night. He walks out and his buddies are around and they're like, "Hey bro, high five," right? Woman does the same thing and they come out and they're like, "Oh God, what a skink," right? You would agree that this is probably a much more common occurrence than people want to admit,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
But
you're
here's
asking
the
if it goes
thing
both
that's interesting is that even women judge those men by a different standard than they judge other women. So if the men are saying, okay, you can judge me by the same exact standard, then I'm judging you. It's just that people really don't like it, men or women, when you do it, and don't care so much when I do it. How would that actually make them a hypocrite?
That's true. I mean, I guess if you're judging each other both in the same way and at the same level, then yeah, it's not hypocritical, but I think it's
It's not fair, right?
It's not that it's not fair. I think it's just a bit hypocritical to judge someone.
You just
when
said it wasn't
you've done the
hypocritical.
same actions.
No. But you can be judged by the same standard. Just so happens that when the standard is applied to you, people judge you less harshly for it. How would that be hypocritical?
And they just judge me. Okay, wait. Thank you. Thanks, Ryan.
Okay. You want me to move it on?
No,
Should I
I
move on?
think I get what you're
Should I move
saying. I'm just like a little confused on the wording. I don't know. Maybe I'm just misinterpreting things.
Okay, so let's put it this way. If you call a woman
Thank you.
a whore,
Uh-huh.
that's offensive to women, right?
Yeah, that's a harsh negative judgment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If you
there's
call a
harsh
man a
judgments
whore, he
and
goes,
there's
yes,
not.
so what? Right?
Still
He goes,
harsh
yeah,
and
so
negative.
what?
It's still
Now
harsh
you're
and negative.
judging him by the same
lot of
exact
women
standard
also
he's
go,
judging
"So
you.
what?"
Hang on,
This day
hang
and
on.
age.
You're judging him by the same standard he's judging you. He just doesn't give a shit, right? So
Okay.
how would he be a hypocrite? He's using the same standard you're using.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a shit about your standard, right?
Yeah, okay, and
That's
again,
the
my answer
difference.
is it wouldn't be if you're judging each other at the same level. Yeah. And in the same way,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So that wouldn't be hypocrisy then.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.